Hi, my name is CGeffrard, and I'll be going over this initial case study with you. My client is a 7-year-old boy who is diagnosed with both autism spectrum disorder and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. The behaviors of concern include deficits in social emotional reciprocity, receptive and expressive communication, and social interactions such as play skills. The maladaptive behaviors of concern include noncompliance, screaming, whining or crying, elopement, scripting, motor stereotypy, and property destruction. The assessment tools that were used in this case study included a brief functional behavioral assessment, review of the following records, which were an individualized education plan, medical records, interviews, which were informal caregiver interviews, which were completed by the client's parents, formal preference assessment, which was a multiple stimulus with replacement preference assessment, informal data collection by parents, an ACE skills assessment, a Vinland assessment, and ABC data was also collected. The rationale and results for assessment tools used is as follows. The assessment tools were used to process, understand, and determine the function of the client's behavior. They were also used to determine the best plan of action when creating the client's intervention plan. The results of the assessment tools used concluded that behaviors that served an automatic function were elopement, scripting, and motor stereotypy. Behaviors maintained by both escape and tangible functions included noncompliance, property destruction, screaming, and whining. The data collected during the brief FBA indicated that the client's maladaptive behaviors were precipitated by specific antecedent and setting events, which include him sitting for an extended duration of time, a demand is placed that is or is not a choice, a demand is placed to terminate an item or activity, he is placed in a loud or aversive environment or is in a loud or aversive environment, and he's denied access to leave in an aversive environment. Integration with the BACB task list. Assessment procedures and results used were relevant to the following BACB task list items. Task list items C, measurement, data, display, and interpretations, specifically C1, which is establishing operational definitions of behavior, C2, distinguishing among direct, indirect, and product measures of behavior, C3, measuring occurrence, which includes count, frequency, rate, or percentage, C4, measuring temporal dimensions of behavior, which include duration, latency, and inter-response time. F, behavior assessments, specifically F1 through F9, which includes F1, which is reviewing records available and reviewing records and available data, which include educational, medical, and historical at the outset of the case. F2, determining the need for behavior analytic services. F3, identifying and prioritizing socially significant behavior change goals. F4, conducting assessments of relevant skill strength and deficits. F5, conducting preference assessments. F6, describing the common functions of problem behavior. F7, conducting a descriptive assessment of problem behavior. F8, conducting a functional analysis of problem behavior, and F9, interpreting functional assessment data. And also H, selecting and implementing interventions, which is H1 through H3 specifically. H1 is stating intervention goals in an observable and measurable terms. H2 is identifying potential interventions based on assessment results and the best available scientific evidence. H3 is recommending intervention goals and strategies based on such factors as client preferences, supporting environments, risks, constraints, and social validity. The assessment findings inform behavior support plans and interventions by determining the functions of the maladaptive behaviors and what maintains it. The findings allow for behavior analysts to create an intervention plan that will help the client meet short-term and long-term objectives. Such interventions include functional communication training, mandating for needed or desired items, and tolerating denied access. The results also help develop a behavior intervention plan. Thank you for listening to my presentation of the initial case study.